Afternoon, everyone. Hey guys, this is Bruce Marshall with Simpler Trading doing the nightly market update for Wednesday, July 31st. And I normally do the videos on Wednesday night, which is great because that means I get all the Fed meeting days, and today was one of those days. Crazy, crazy, crazy move higher today. Actually, the move was in front of the Fed, not exactly during the Fed. Right here is when the Fed announcement happened, and we got a little bit of kind of back and forth. The I think right there is when the press conference had happened. So at 2 o'clock, excuse me, we had the the announcement, which was no change, and then at 2:30, the commentary, the interview, press conference, all that kind of stuff, and ironically, if you were watching the Fed Watch tool, it's kind of crazy. I watched it before the Fed meeting, and the chance of a rate cut in September was 93, like 93.7%, something like that. And after, it dropped to 83. And Powell seemed pretty dovish to me. I mean, he said that they're definitely going to leave the door open for rate cuts, coming. But of course, he wouldn't commit to a time frame, and I wouldn't either. I don't blame him. It's that's just what you do, because I don't think he really actually knows. He said there's many data points that they must consider, and all that kind of stuff. A lot between now and then. I personally don't really think we're going to get one in September. I think they'll continue to kick the can a little bit more if they can. It will depend on data. We've got payrolls, we've got CPI, PPI, PCE, all that good stuff coming. There's no Fed meeting in August, so it'll have to be at the September meeting, or it doesn't have to be. They actually can cut between. They don't have to do a rate cut at an actual meeting. Typically they do, but anyway, let me show you this move today. I've got the NASDAQ here. The rut, and on this little kind of turn down thing here, this was the rut, and the rut's been on fire because, as we know, small caps will benefit from a rate cut, lower interest rates, lower borrowing costs, all that kind of stuff. The mega caps, they're awash in cash. They don't need to borrow. That's why the rut's we've seen this sector rotation. It sure feels like a sector rotation to me. Other people are saying it's a broadening out, away from the Mag 7s into the rest of the market and all that kind of stuff. And that does kind of make sense to me too. The diamonds, the Dow have been really on fire lately too. So we are kind of broadening out. But check this out. So today, or from last night's close, the black, that's the cash session. This is the overnight session. 54.33 to 55.88. Do a little quick math. That is 155 points in the ES. That is really, really moving. One day, an overnight session. Basically, we got it all up. All that move basically was there at the open, or up before the open on the day, and we chop, I mean, kind of sideways into the Fed, and then got a little bit more and came back down and kind of sort of end up where we were. 155 points. That is, like I said, that's crazy if you watch this daily. And if you've been trading for a while, I always get a chuckle out of this. And it shows my age that I remember when like a big move in the S&P was 25 points, 35 points, 40 points. That was big, big move. But not anymore. Of course, the indexes are at a much higher value now. But so let's look at this. Let's stay on the S&P because it's the most representative, I think, of the overall market. We can look at the NASDAQ for the tech side, but this is more the overall market. So let's go back on a 20-day chart. And so 57, remember this is ES, not SPX. 57.21, it's buy, all you can buy as fast as you can, then sell. And anytime I think about that, I always think about Jim Cramer hitting the buttons, buy, 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 sell, sell, sell. And that's about how fast it goes, right? So this was, let's see, that high was on a Wednesday. That's 1 week. That's 2 weeks ago. And this is 287, 89 points. That's a long way down, almost 300 points down, and 150 points back up. So we're going to make it back up here. Probably, I think so. And what we always, we don't just guess. We try to at least make an educated guess. And in order to make an educated guess, we got to look at the calendar, see what's coming up, right? Well, we just had Meta report and a few minutes ago, and they are ripping. Look at that. Straight up, straight up, straight up. Closed at 474. It's at 5, or went to 514 right now. They still have to have a conference call. He just reported a few minutes ago. That's good for the NASDAQ, and continue to follow through for tomorrow. So next we have tomorrow. So I'll say in the calendar here, tomorrow after the close, the biggest day of the earnings season this quarter will be Apple and Amazon back to back after the close tomorrow. And in addition to that, we have got Intel, we've got Coin, we've got Roku tomorrow after the close. All this is tomorrow after the close. So a lot being reported tomorrow after the close. That will be a big deal as far as direction of the NASDAQ. And let's put the NQ up here. And matter of fact, so NQ's done the same thing, the straight up and straight down thing. Right now, the NASDAQ after hours is up a little bit on Meta, but Meta really, man, looks like a really solid quarter. So we'll see. So basically what I'm thinking is that Meta obviously did good. Let's get back here to a 20-day chart. Meta did good. We come in tomorrow. We do have some data tomorrow. Nothing dramatic like like a CPI or something like that. But in fact, let me see what we do have tomorrow. I remember looking at it thinking it wasn't that. Initial jobless claims, U.S. productivity, ISM, that'll actually be a pretty decent one. But again, the biggie is going to be after the close tomorrow. So I expect or suspect that Apple comes in line, Amazon comes in line, or beats. They both beat. I think we just keep going higher. We get back up somewhere up in this, kind of area. That's what we got to look for, right? Now that we've got some pretty encouraging remarks from the Fed, and it's definitely a dovish tone to the Fed meeting, all that kind of stuff. Even if Apple and Amazon come in and miss, tomorrow, I don't think it does as much damage as it would have if the Fed had been, neutral or hawkish. So I'm continuing to look higher here. Think this thing, could easily get back up here. Now, again, there will be a lull coming to the end of the summer. No Fed meeting. We'll have CPI and PPI to look for, and we've got probably one more week of big S&P 500 earnings, and then it kind of trails off into the to the smaller companies and the stragglers and that kind of thing. The main ones that can really move the market are the Mag 7 type stocks, Nvidia, Microsoft, etc., Google, and all that. And the only two left now are Amazon and Apple, and then Nvidia is later in August. But anyway, so as far as those go, I am getting more interested in maybe doing a little fishing in that kind of area. But there are becoming more and more pretty good looking opportunities out there as well. If you check the weekly watch list that I did a couple days ago, I mentioned a handful of names, and so if you want to check that out, that looks pretty good as well. Those are all actually doing pretty well. But again, let me put this out on a 1-year chart here, so we can kind of get a little bit better visual of it, and then we'll wind it up. So this is those are 34 EMAs on the ES, and to me, we were kind of at a break-even point here. That's a lower 34. We're kind of at a make or break point here. Are we going to bounce, or are we going to keep on failing and come back down to one of these lower levels? And clearly we are bouncing. We're above that 34 EMA right there, which opens up the window to more upside. Outside of anything super negative happening, like some really hot inflation numbers or something like that. So anyway, that is what I've got. Hope that helps. If you are not a Simpler subscriber, come and join us in the rooms there. I'm there all the time. I'm in 2 different rooms there trading, and be glad to help you when I can. If you're going to be at the Money Show this weekend in Las Vegas, I will be there. A handful of us from Simpler are going to be there at the Money Show in Vegas, so try to find us if you can. We will be there. And other than that, I will wind it up here, and I'll see you guys at the next update. So thanks for your time. I appreciate it, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Without Simpler Trading, I could not have financial independence.
This is one of the best investments I ever made in my life.
It's helping me find consistency. It's one of the things that won me